Hi, today we're going to be talking about how marketers can work with adjacent areas to deliver the complete solution. We've already talked about and already know how we need cross-functional teams in order to deliver value to the customers. Oftentimes, that involves getting people outside of the marketing organization involved in the process. So how do we start to do that? The first thing we have to do is determine the adjacent areas to marketing. So what are those specialized skill sets that are needed? What are those functional areas? For example, you might need legal involved in order to do legal approvals, or you might need finance involved in order to approve your budget flow. So go ahead and think through all those different areas, those functional areas that you need in order to deliver value to the customer. The second thing I want you to consider is the level of involvement of those functional areas. So for example, maybe you only need legal involved once in a while at the end of a campaign in order to sign off on legal approval. Or maybe it's the case where that legal involvement is needed on a regular basis. So again, the first thing you're going to do is to think about those functions. The next thing you're going to do is think about the level of involvement. And it might range from light, which means that we only need them once in a while, to heavy, which is we need them almost on a daily basis for many hours a day. And if somebody is on the light end of that spectrum, I'd consider using what we refer to as a shared services model. And in a shared services model, you have somebody who's appointed as your contact, and oftentimes that person has a service level agreement with your organization. So let's just say that finance has a relatively light involvement in your organization and in your needs. You might have an agreement with a specified contact person in finance that says, when we send an agreement your way, that you're going to turn it around in no more than 48 hours. And in that way, you introduce some level of predictability into what you have going on. Now, if somebody has more of a medium level of involvement, it means that they probably care about what's being delivered and have some sort of impact on that. And software development might be a great example where you are developing a landing page, and let's just say that there's an integrated form that needs some database expertise. That might be an example of medium involvement. And in that situation, you're going to want to invite that person into your Agile events or your Agile ceremonies. And this can be either on a regular basis if you need that person regularly. For example, invite them to your daily stand-up, or it could be on a less frequent basis. For example, you might invite them to the demos or some other synchronization meetings like a Scrum of Scrums type meeting, so that this individual can keep track of the progress of the team, really understand the dependency, when that piece needs to come in, and keep track of any changes that take place. Now, the third level of involvement is when somebody has a heavy involvement on the team. And this can be something, again, like software development, but let's just say that instead of a landing page with an integrated form, you've got some software developers who are developing a mobile app. And there's a specific requirement that marketing has for this mobile app. Let's just say that it's some tracking within the app. Now, in that case, ultimately, if it's long-lived, you're going to want to advocate to have that person on the team. In the short term, I would invite you to have that person integrated into the team enough so that they can really understand what's going on. So that probably does mean having that individual attend your daily stand-ups, If they can't attend every time, you could make a working agreement so that you could reach out to that person and invite them to the stand-ups that they especially need to come to. I would involve that person in sprint planning and really treat that individual as somebody who is an extension of the team. So in this way, you can have some flexibility with these outside team members, right? So these outside functions that help you deliver the full solution to the value that you're creating. So just to summarize what I've said, you first identify the functions that are needed. Again, it could be legal or finance or software. Identify the level of involvement that's needed from that function, and then invite them to participate either as a shared service, to get involved with some of your key events, or potentially even sit with your team for the duration of that sprint or that quarter. Thank you.